You wanna learn how to make Detroit like VEXOR? I got you, my boy. So first what he does basically is make a melody with Nexus Atmosphere. I don't do that shit. If you have those plugins, they're expensive as fuck. I don't have them. I don't like making melodies either. I just use samples. You can find a lot of Detroit melodies on YouTube. You just type in like free like Detroit melody, Detroit rap melody, instrumental, whatever. And you can download them. Or you can find a sample that works for the genre. It's pretty easy to use samples for this because what carries this genre is the usage of drums, not the main melody. You can make a melody out of whatever, but the drums need to be hitting hard. And first things first, without even selecting nothing, I want you to boost the BPM. Detroit's around like 170 to 200, and I'm gonna do 200 because that's my favorite type of Detroit, a really fast-paced one. I don't know if you noticed, but I have my flash on and it's killing my eyes, and I see like a little dot on the screen. You know when you look at the sun and you see it like a little dot? Let's pick a melody. And by the way, this drum kit's on my description if you wanna get it. Oh yeah, let's use this one. Put it on the playlist. You can put it on stretch and change the pitch so it sounds different. I like the default one. Now before we start adding the drums, I want you to go to the master right here. To the mixer track, go to the master, and the latest slot, put a soft clipper. That's what VEXOR does. I've been making music with him for like 4 years at this point, and this is the only thing that we add to the master. It's all mixing. Detroit, the type of Detroit that VEXOR does is pretty based on mixing, not in mastering. And now comes the most important part of Detroit, which are the drums. You need to pick like a very, very loud Spins 808, a very short hat, and a very short snare, rim, or clap. It has to be like real minimal. The only thing that needs to be hitting hard is the bass. And you can add more basses on top as well. I'm gonna teach you how. Because since the bass is the only thing that's gonna be playing a lot through the song, you need to make variations. And the best you can do is not only make unique bass lines, but use different bass samples as well. That's the top tier, that's the meta in Detroit. At least in Detroit Funk, you need to make, shit, I almost dropped. You need to use different basses, and you need to do some little tricks that I'm gonna show you after. So stay tuned, because I have some secrets that I wanna show you to make the dopest Detroit Funk track ever. I'm gonna pick some drums out of my drum kit and I'm gonna show them to you. Okay, so these are the perks that I chose. And this is the snare. I told you need to use like a very minimal snare, rim or clap, but it has to be minimal. Now we have to find a Spins 808. Yep, this one. Other type of basses work as well, but the one that I like the most and the one that I've seen VEXOR use the most throughout his career was the Spins 808. You cannot go wrong with the Spins. It's a really good 808 for this genre. And a little trick that I want to show you is you go to your 808, you go to the pre-computed effects, click on here, and there's a boost knob. You can boost it so it's louder. Obviously you need to go to the volume, make a volume envelope like this, turn everything down besides hold to the max. Then you go to the little wrench and cut self. This shit banging already. We need to make a 4-bar perk loop pattern. I'm gonna make it and I'm gonna show you the end result of the perk loop because it'll take you some time, but it's worth it. This genre needs to have a lot of different perks. You can always start by using hats as your guidance, just to have the rhythm going. You go to the hats, you do something like this. So you select like all the 4 bars, you right click and you make a 2-step, and that's it. Now you can disable the metronome because you already have the rhythm going. Now we make the perks. You can do the hi-hat trick that I show you. You select all of the hats, you press Alt and R, or you can go to this wrench and click on randomize. It's going to look like this. You disable the pattern section, and on the level section you boost the velocity a little bit, and it's going to make them sound more natural so they don't play at the same level all the time. You can boost the pitch knob as well, but I don't recommend doing that to this genre. This is how my perk loop pattern sounds like. Select it and press Command or Control and B to duplicate it. Or you can hold Shift and click and drag it. It's the same thing. And then you go here and you make it unique. Now you can switch it up and make a different perk loop so it's more interesting. For example, I would take the roll right here. You know what to do. Make a different pattern. Something like this just to make a variation. And now we need to make a new pattern. You can go right here to the pattern section, right click, find next empty, no naming, or press Ctrl and F4 and it'll bring you to a new pattern. And now we make the 808, which is the best part of this genre. And what I want you to do is make an 8-bar loop for the 808. If you keep on playing the same 808 all the time, it's gonna be boring. You keep the perk loops playing all the time, the samples playing all the time, then you add an acapella, whatever. But you need to make variations to the 808 all the time so it's interesting. The best thing that this genre has going for it is the bass. First we're gonna make the 808s, and then I'm gonna teach you how to add more layers on top with different basses, because you need to add like Moog basses, you need to add Flint basses. I'm gonna show you how, but first let's focus on the main structure. So this is what I made. This is the rhythm that you should be going for. And it might sound a little empty, but it's because you don't need to keep the spins playing all the time. You need to leave space so you can add more layered basses on top. My pattern sounds like this. So now we need to grab a bass. I have a lot of basses on my drum kit. The link is in the description. This is a really good bass. So we go to the same bass pattern and we don't stack them. You should never stack these basses. You need to play either one or the other to distribute them. I'm gonna make something and I'm gonna show you. But first, I need that energy, bruh. It's always at the end of the pattern. That's why I made the spins pattern like that. That's on purpose. So I have space at the end. Play that little bass. So this is cool and all. We select all of this, we duplicate it, and we need to make another bass pattern. I want you to make the most craziest variations you can make, because that's what makes this genre interesting. That and the arrangement, but I'm gonna show you the arrangement tricks later. First, we focus on the bass. The bass is the most important, please. I'm gonna make another pattern and show it to you. I made something like this. Don't be afraid to play with the velocity and the pan. You can go to the control right here, velocity to make different velocities, and pan to just pan the 808 stereo. I made this pattern. Now I'm gonna show you something that VEXOR really loves doing, just making a low pass automation. You go to the master, you can open Fruity Love Filter, and the default preset already has a bandpass. What we need to do is make a volume automation. We select the end of the pattern right here, right click on the measures to do that, go to the Love Filter, we turn the knob all the way down, right click and create automation clip. And now we need to draw something like this, and it's gonna sound like this. Not only that, we can do something called next door reverb, and I'm gonna teach you how to make it. Do the same thing, select the end of the next pattern, go to your master and open up reverb. You can use reverb or reverb 2. I suggest using reverb 2 because the interface is way easier. And you need to make this configuration. I'm gonna show it to you. This is how it should look. A very little decay, lower the dry all the way, turn on the wet. Low cut should be around here a little bit. It's because sometimes the bass sounds like ass, so you feel like the bass is overpowering everything. You boost the low cut, high cut around here, and something really good is the diff knob. If you want to add something special to the reverb and not just like a simple next door reverb like this, you can lower the diff knob so it works more like a delay. That's a little trick you can do. Now we do the same thing. We'll lower the knob all the way, right click, create automation clip. Be sure to have selected the end of the pattern. Something like this. Now we need to arrange this, and the arrangement is pretty easy, but I'm going to teach you some tricks that are going to help you a lot. If you listen to Detroit on the regular, you know what I'm talking about. For this genre in specific, I like doing an 8-bar intro. Usually I make my intros like 4 or even like 0. I don't make an intro at all because I like getting right to business as soon as possible. But for this genre, making an intro is good. And you're wondering why? It's because since it's such a fast BPM, it doesn't take too much time to get right into business. What you can do as well is add perk loops. That's really good as well. And something that I like to do is play the first 4 bars of the intro without perk loops. Right after that, you can use your tag or a little effect or something. Start playing the perk loops right from there. I'm gonna teach you. You can use something like this. So the same principle applies. Select them, Control and B or Command and B if you're a Mac. And right here on the intro, we grab the slice tool, we cut it in half, and we delete the first section. Now you can start adding effects to make a dope intro. You want to make the intro sound interesting, because if it's just a sample, it's gonna be a boring ass intro. You need to make the intro interesting. Intro sting. And as always, you can use low pass for the intro as well. It's really good. You can obviously add transitions to the drop. Something like this. And you need to spam the transitions. When me and VEXOR make music together, we always spam transitions every 8 bars, every 16 bars. You need to have a transition just to smooth everything out. That's just the basic transition. You can make your own, and I'm gonna teach you how. You need to have symbols. I like this one. So you put it onto the playlist. Now you hold shift and drag it so you create a copy. You make it unique. And you reverse it. So what I want you to do, cut it so it's shorter. And if you're on FL21, you can grab this little end right here. So you make basically a volume automation. Now you double click on it, you lower the volume. That's how you make your own transition. You can even put it right here and then stack it, and it's going to have something called crossfade. And you don't need to use the same symbol that I used. You can use different crashes, whatever you feel like. I have some dope transitions in my kit like this one. It's called Detroit Funk Bundle. If you want to get it, links in the description. Now we need to add an acapella, but before doing that, I'm gonna show you the little trick that I want you to do. It's gonna sound 1,000 times better. You need to do the Lou Pharrell Williams shit. And if you know what I'm talking about, I salute you. You cut the last bar of the end before the acapella hits. You cut it like so. You have the first half of the first measure. Damn, this is complicated to explain. You grab this shit, grab the slice tool, you cut it holding shift. It's gonna look vertical. You cut it like this, you move it to the left, and you press Command and B or just hold shift and drag it to duplicate it. Now it should sound like this. And this is the perfect timing to place the acapella. If you want to use a dope acapella, what I recommend you to do is go to YouTube and search up Detroit Rap 2024. That's it. Start digging. Maybe you know the dopest artist that nobody knows about. That's good, because acapellas are top tier. I'm telling you, everybody's sleeping on acapellas using the same overused shit over and over, and it's boring. You need to dig for a good acapella. The same effort that you put in digging for samples, you need to put in for digging the secret, most exclusive acapellas. People don't realize, but sometimes you listen to a song and you like it so much because of the acapella. A good acapella can carry a song. So I found this one, but I feel you can find one that sounds a lot better, 1,000 times better. This one's already at the BPM of the project, so I don't need to fit it to tempo. But if you find that it's like, for example, 210 BPM, you go here, fit the tempo, BPM, type in 210. I hate FL Studio, man. And when the acapella starts playing, you can cut some of the bass. And you need to lower it as well, so the bass doesn't clip through the acapella. What you can do to fix that is go to your 808, we right click the volume knob, create automation clip, and what we need to do is lower it a little bit. It should basically look like this, since we're lowering the volume for a little bit. If you want to take learning seriously and getting better really quick, I have a private community you can join. It's the first link in the description. You probably cannot afford it, so if you're really serious about it, check it out. This is the end result. I hope you liked it. I'm gonna leave VEXOR's socials on the description. Go follow him. He makes dope music. please go follow him. And this has been Shinzo, guys. Later.
Light skin, bustin', fuck. Light skin, but got a fat ass, she look like J-Lo. I'll pop you in your top, give you a halo, or I'll make your top pop like a Fago. I really didn't done that at all, I bet they know. Hella stones on my hand in this bitch, I feel like Thanos. And I'm the god of war in my city, I feel like Kratos. I really can't name a place I can't go. Make your bitch shake that Laffy Taffy, I feel like Fabo. Bitch, hurry up and get it to me. I'm about to pull my phone, now we finna shoot a move. I'm disappointed.